In this Patreon-requested album review, I was asked to look at Imaginaerum, or Imaginaerum depending on pronunciation, the 7th full album from symphonic metal band Nightwish. Europe, and especially Northern Europe, has brought many well-known symphonic metal bands, and Nightwish might be one of the more popular over the past 10 years. It's understandable as the band has sold over 8 million albums worldwide and regarded as one of the most successful Finnish bands ever. While the band has gone through some changes over the years with their vocalists, Nightwish has still marched forward and continued its symphonic legacy, and one of their most ambitious entries is Imaginaerum, released on November 30th, 2011, after taking almost a year to record and over 6 months to mix and produce. What many Nightwish fans know Imaginaerum for is the accompanying film that was released in 2012. While the overall consensus of the film is somewhat mixed, the album that serves as its creative source has been regarded as one of Nightwish's finest. So for the sake of this review, I'll be doing my best to cover the album itself and leave the pairing film on the outside. Imaginaerum, as you might expect, is a concept album. The main premise of the story is about an elderly man on his deathbed trying to remember the events of his life, but only really remembering events as a child along with a few scattered pieces after. It is a wild fever dream of a narrative matched with an orchestral-style rock sounding like a movie score that clocks in around 75 minutes. Along with all the album sales in many countries this album charted in, there were also 2 singles released in Storytime and The Crow, the Owl, and the Dove. Storytime specifically was the song that was received as the highlight in the public eye and is a good example of both the album and band style. In all its multi-instrument dramatic glory, this song is Nightwish down to the core. The opening keys and guitar riffs in the first 10 seconds are more than enough to set the tone of this album. There's a sense of panic in the writing, and Annette Olsen has a clear and defined style of singing without having to get too loud to get an emotion across. The choir of wordless singing creates this enormous feeling that is the opening of something life-changing. As the album's true opener past the intro track, it's fantastic. Storytime clocks in at over 5 minutes and it still feels like a fast whirlwind of a listen. The song leaves a lasting impression with its tone and flowing aggression. It's an example of symphonic metal that sounds great, stays true to the subgenre, and isn't completely over the top. And among the many tracks that all average around 5 minutes overall, there are a few songs that can't be described with those qualities. As you go through the album, or story if you prefer, you hear many different music styles as opposed to just an onslaught of metal riffs. A song like Turn Loose the Mermaids is more folk-based than anything, and Slow Love Slow sounds like it belongs in a modern-day film noir. Along with a few instrumental tracks and an ongoing sense of continuation from track to track, there is a lot to digest. The style of Slow Love Slow is something to appreciate in the sense that it's not the typical fare you would expect on either the symphony or metal side. It feels so organic and belonging to the album while continuing the flow, but at a very different speed. Olsen's singing is gorgeous in the second half, and it's the 4th track into the album where you realize just how much effort went into Imaginaerum. As the album goes on, there will be parts that may not spark your interest as well as others. That's how it is for most stories, though. The good part about what Nightwish has done here is just how well the music from track to track connects. You understand why a song is there, and even if you aren't crazy about every moment, you still can't deny the composition and synchronicity from so many people involved. The songs like Last Ride of the Day and I Want My Tears Back feel like these loud, energetic anthems while listened to individually. I particularly love the vibrant battle-style song that Last Ride of the Day becomes, with a dual vocalist and fantastic guitar solo paired with the string section. This song is the last big shot of adrenaline before the story-filled Song of Myself and the closing title track, as it sets the mood in the final act well. There are a few moments in the album that the music feels like it drags on and the mood being set doesn't really complement the rest of the album. In a 75-minute record, it's bound to happen. Scaretale sounds like it's going in 10 different directions over the course of 7.5 minutes, and Song for Myself is split between an intense music climax followed by spoken word dialogue. But even with these occasional moments, the album still feels well worth the time invested. Symphonic metal itself is an ambitious style that requires much more time writing and orchestrating many different elements. Putting a movie along with your album multiplies that tenfold. Nightwish may have been hit and miss for me in the past, but when listening to something this big and hearing how well it connects, it's hard to not appreciate it all. Overall, Imaginaerum is one of the albums you should listen to if you have ever been interested in Nightwish. It does justice to the band's talents on many levels and has many gorgeous moments that highlight the best of symphonic metal. Regardless of your thoughts on the accompanying film, the album itself is something definitely worth checking out.